Emily, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sally, yes.
Beautiful, thank you.
Do we need all four of them? Can we just do it two?
What do you mean by two?
Two gate breakouts. Not four. Player भी देखना है ना?
You can't see me? Emily, we just need to keep an eye on these gate rates because sometimes the players consume one. So as soon as they have used one, we can replace it with the other, with the spare ones which are sitting at the back of the backdrop.
No problem. All right.
Who will be carrying the mics?
Yes, here. Yes.
Ladies?
Yes.
The media manager will be standing on either right or the left. Yes. So you need to actually look at him because he will be advising you who the mic needs to have. Once you have given the mic, please don't forget to take it back because what happens is they have the mic and then they ask one question after another question and the media manager gets a bit confused. Yeah, exactly. Because it's going to be live, we can't be in front of the camera, so it's in the direction of the camera. Beautiful. And even what you can do is, you can give it to this gentleman and you can pass the mic. That's also another way of doing it. Just in case if one of the players drinking, because they're dehydrated, they'll come, they'll dehydrate and they'll drink water. But as soon as someone is opened it, you take it. We are only putting the battery to the players, not the water. We only put battery. These are the available things.
Yeah, 1 2. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 1 2. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, 1 2. Yeah, 1 2. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 1 2. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 1 2. Yeah, yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah, 1 2. Yeah, 1 2.
Okay, people, quick one, quick one. Please put your phone on silent. We have got the two captains coming up. AB will be first, followed by MS. We'll appreciate if you can wait for the mic. We've got mics on either side, so please wait for the mics. Speak in the mic. Thank you very, very much indeed. Thanks for your help.
Ja, je gaan het. Rustig. How's it?
Alright.
Good, good.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Could you please just ask your question in the mic, otherwise I suppose I can go AB to visit. Right here.
AB, do you think the occasion was just too big for the side tonight?
Definitely not, no. Just not our day, I'd say. It's difficult to put it down to exactly where we went wrong. Quite a few areas where we just didn't play as well as we wanted to. Started pretty slow with the ball in hand. It was difficult to make breakthroughs throughout the day, and at the end of the day, I thought it was probably a 275, 280 par kind of wicket. We actually did well to keep them down to 307, and I felt we had a chance halfway through the game, but unfortunately just lost our way completely with a bat in hand. Two run-outs, absolutely unacceptable in the top six. Just can't afford those kind of things. Other than that, we were just outplayed today.
Yes, sir.
Bowling, we were talking about that South African bowling is very good. When Indians bowl, it looked like that the pitch is doing something, but when your team, your bowlers bowled, Indian batsmen batted very well. And at the same time, I'd like to ask one more question. When Parnell has always been, very expensive against India. I have seen earlier also he's very expensive. Still, he bowled 10 overs. And what happened to Philander? He was not there after his initial overs.
Okay. Which one of the three must I answer? Okay, now I'll start off. You were talking about the wicket to start off with. Yes, it was a good wicket in the afternoon. There's no doubt about that. It took a little bit of wear and tear throughout the day, and it got a bit too paced in the evening without making any excuses. It did play a little bit difficult in the evening. I found it quite difficult. It's not often that a South African team struggles against short pitch deliveries, but it was too paced. One skids on, one got stuck in the wicket a bit, which made it really difficult to get on top of it. So that's your first question. Wayne Parnell, little discipline. He got it wrong with his disciplines, I think, today. His no balls, unacceptable throughout an innings. We've spoken about that in length in bowling meetings before, and bowled a couple of no balls, which cost him. And then obviously that drop catch didn't do him any favours. Other than that, I thought it was an all-round pretty average performance by the bowling unit. Like I said, I felt 280 was probably par, maybe even a little bit less. But was happy about the last 10, the way we pulled it back. Then Vernon, I'm not sure about his injury yet. He'll go for scans tomorrow and we'll check it out. For now, I have no idea what his condition is like and whether he will be ready for the next game. But we'll assess that tomorrow.
Maybe 2 big wins for India where we bowled out the opposition very cheaply. But what I want to know is, was it good bowling or poor batting?
Bit of both, I think. I spoke to Hashim after the innings. He actually mentioned to me that he was quite impressed with the bowling performance from India. I thought they were quite clever tonight. But definitely a poor batting performance. Like I mentioned before, the 2 run-outs cost us quite a lot tonight. You can't afford to have 2 run-outs in the top 6. You never know, but the top 6 are there to win games for you. It could have been my night or David's night tonight, and we both sat on the side of the field, not even being dismissed by a bowler, which is very disappointing. Yeah, so just all-round disappointing performance.
You've talked about the 2 run-outs already. Were you slightly surprised by the sharpness in the field by the Indians? Were you kind of taken a little bit off guard?
Not really, no. I'm not surprised. They're a team that always want to win games. They're always competitive in World Cups, and I didn't expect anything less from them, to be honest. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
I expected them to be urgent, and they want to win games, especially in World Cups. They lift their performance a bit, and they didn't take us by surprise, but just poor running, I guess.
We are in Melbourne, but it felt like we are in Mumbai with the kind of home support that was there for India. Did it have any role on calling between the batsmen or on the field, etc.?
I don't think so. No. You got to win games wherever you play in the world to be the best team in the world. If you want to be the best team in the world, it obviously plays a role for them. I think that they got a bit of a boost, feeling that they're playing at home with a lot of support. I felt like we had support as well. It's definitely not an excuse, and it shouldn't play a role. No.
AB, just in the first 25 overs, Dale Steyn bowls 4 overs, and then you use him predominantly in the last 25. Do you think you need to utilize that and maybe use, given he's your strike weapon, use him a little bit more up front?
It depends on the situation of the game. I'll just go on my gut feel. I could sit here and say that maybe my gut feel is wrong tonight. Maybe not. That's just the way I felt the game, the rhythm of the game. That's the way I read the situation, and probably didn't pay off today.
Obviously a bad loss. There's a lot of work for the management and you as a senior group to do. What is the kind of work that you will now put in and discussions that will take place in the week to the West Indies?
Yeah, there are a few things that need to happen. Obviously, after a loss like that, it's quite disappointing, and I almost don't want to think about it now, but obviously come tomorrow we'll have to start strategizing on how we're going to recover and regroup as a unit, and we'll put all our focus on Friday against the West Indies. It's a big game for us, and it's a must-win in Sydney. but for now, I just want to sort of go feel sad in my room for a while, and we'll we'll see again how I feel tomorrow. We'll come with a bit of energy again, and the way I know this team, we always bounce back. We've got a never say die attitude, and this tournament's by a long way not over for us.
Did you get the last score for AB over here, there, the back there, and then for us?
Hi, Abi. Could you talk about the performance of Imran Tahir today? Generally, leg spinners have struggled against India in the past, right through the 80s, 90s. Could you talk about that?
I was very impressed with his performance. He played against a team that's renowned for the way they play spin bowling, probably the best spin bowling batting unit there is. And I've answered a lot of questions in the presser before the game about what is he going to play and why is he playing and why are you thinking of playing him, and a lot of doubts about whether he should be playing or not. And I'm just very happy with his performance. I'm very proud of the way he performed tonight against world-class players, against spin, and he showed that he's right up there with one of the best spinners in the world at the moment.
A lot of scores of 300 in this tournament, but nearly all by teams batting first. Is that to do with conditions, or does 300 feel like a bigger score when you're chasing than when you're making it?
Definitely a bit of both. You feel the pressure chasing 300 plus. You take on shots that you might not normally take on to the second run that you normally wouldn't do. And yeah, the conditions certainly plays a role in that. Well, I felt it did tonight. Once again, no excuses, but it was certainly a tougher wicket in the second innings, no doubt about it.
AB, I guess, sorry, just from, in the context of the tournament as a whole, this may not have a massive effect on going forward, whether you qualify for the knockouts or even where you qualify in terms of the knockouts. So once you've got over that, it maybe wasn't the best performance, how much will this really mean in terms of the tournament as a whole?
Yeah, it's a big knock for us, to get beaten by 130 runs. It's almost embarrassing. You never want to lose by that amount of runs. You always want to be a competitive team, feel like you're always in the game, got a chance to win games. We pride ourselves on that, and it didn't happen today, so we're going to have to lick our wins for a while. It's not just you know what, we win a few more games, we'll be through to the quarterfinals. It's not about that. Your confidence takes a bit of a knock with performances like that, and it's up to the senior group of players to make sure that that confidence is still there come Friday against the West Indies. Because little things like today's performance can creep into your game if you start thinking about it too much, and if you allow it to knock your confidence down. But I feel we're a mature group of players, and we'll regroup, like I said before, and we'll have a chat tomorrow about where we went wrong, and have a mature chat and an honest chat about it, and then hopefully play some good cricket on Friday. When it comes down to making the quarterfinals, I still believe that if we play some good cricket, we'll make that. But for now, we'll have just to lick our wins and then focus on Friday.
So, AB, you said yesterday that Melbourne is one of the slowest wickets you've played on. Did that be a factor today with the Indian slow bowling doing well?
It was definitely a slow wicket today. There's no doubt about that. It sort of was quite difficult in the afternoon for our bowlers. When the Dale's running in at the 140 plus, normally seeing shape. Not seeing that today was obviously a bit painful for him and some of the other seamers. But once again, there are no excuses. We should have come closer tonight. It was a bit difficult in two pace at the end, but still, there's two run-outs, like I said before. It cost us dearly. I still felt like a player like myself and a few others around me with David Miller, that we got a few partnerships going. Without those run-outs, we would have come close. And so that was very disappointing. The Indian spinners, yeah, they bowled well. Look, they definitely didn't win the game for them tonight. I thought we played them really well, which is another positive maybe if you look at it like that. But other than that, pretty dark.
Thanks, guys. Craig, just two in Afrikaans, please.
Just some of the key in Afrikaans, Abby, just some of the key factors that just didn't go your way tonight. And
ja, daar's baie dinge wat 'n rol gespeel het in vandag se verloor. Eerstens moet ek sê dat dit nie 'n baie goeie vertoning was deur ons almal nie. Ons het stadig begin met die bal in hand. Ek het nie gevoel dis 'n 300 plus tipe paaltjie blad vandag nie, en natuurlik met die golf in hand, dis moeilik om daaroor te praat want daar was omtrent niks gewees nie. Ek voel die twee uithardlope, die twee, hoe sê mense uithardlope in Afrikaans? Ja, fantasties. Daai twee het ons nogal gekos, en ja, ek voel nie baie trots op wat ons daar aangevang het nie. En ek voel sonder daai twee wat kon ons dalk naby gekom het met 'n paar vennootskappe, man. Maar andersins moet ons maar net bietjie gesels oor waar ons verkeerd gegaan het môre en dan kom Vrydag teen die Wes-Indiese eilande 'n bietjie beter speel.
Just about how big a knock you said it's a bit embarrassing the size of the defeat, and just some of about the senior players needing to stand up and obviously is this a bit of a wake up call? Maybe it's a positive thing as well.
Ja, die 130 lopies om te verloor met soveel lopies is baie teleurstellend. Ek sou net sê dit is 'n roep vir ons om wakker te word nie. Kyk, ons het definitief vandag opgedaag en ons is emosioneel en reg vir die wedstryd gewees. Dis nie ons is nie gevang omkant met ons houdings nie. Ek voel ons is regtig op vir die wedstryd gewees en het net nie goed gespeel vandag nie. Ja, die senior ouens gaan 'n groot rol speel en ouens soos ek en Hashim en Faf en 'n paar anders, Dale en Morney en Swan en JP. Gaan die jonger ouens met bietjie rondjaag oor die volgende week en seker maak hulle selfvertroue is nog daar. Dis 'n groot wedstryd vir ons Vrydag. En dan dis waarop ons fokus nou is om te kyk waar ons verkeerd gegaan het vandag en môre seker te maak dat ons dinge weer op koers kry en seker maak ons selfvertroue is reg vir Vrydag.
Okay, thank you very much everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please resume your seats. MS Dhoni is on his way to the press conference. We will have questions in English first, and then MS will take 4 questions in Hindi only, and those questions are to be in Hindi only. Thank you. Reminded to turn all mobile phones off and ask your questions into the microphone.
Boys, no mics on the table. Boys, no mics on the table. No mics on the table. We've got speakers. No mics on the table, please. Who's calling this? Tickets were wrongly booked.
Ask one question at a time.
The win against Pakistan was satisfying, and would you say that this is more satisfying than that win?
I think, having back-to-back wins, and especially the kind of wins that we have had in the last 2 games, it's tough to get. So definitely both the games were important for us. And the way we played in this game also, last game I said it was a complete batting performance, but this game also I felt we did really well with the batting. And we tried something different. Last few overs, we actually went for the big shots irrespective of, when the wickets were falling. We actually wanted to see, how much we can push. So even when Raina got out, there was Jaddu who went for his runs. And ultimately, Shami and Ashwin were batting at the end. So that was good to see. And getting 300 runs was fantastic. It was definitely a par plus score on this wicket. Turned up with the ball, I think we bowled in the right areas and we made it tough for the opposition to score.
Yeah. MS, what do you have to say about Shikhar's comeback in the last 2 games, the way he's batted, especially the way he's dealt with the short deliveries?
Well, I think comeback is only 1 game. You can't say comeback for 2 games because, let's forget that. I think he batted really well. The reason was, if you see, he was putting a lot of effort in the net sessions. And as I said, a lot of times people talk about form, but form is something that nobody sees. It's just a matter of 15, 20 minutes, and maybe it was something, you know, that he spent in the last game, you know, that 20 minutes of initial batting that really helped him. And today also you can see, you know, he was really batting the way he bats, you know, when it was there to play the big shots, you know, he did play it. And he was also rotating the strike, and he made sure that once he got his 100, you know, he was still there at the crease so that it was easier for the other batsmen also. So it's important, you know, if you get 100 and if you are able to score 130 or 140 runs, you know, you'll always see the team getting those extra 20 to 25 runs. So it was good on his part, you know, to make sure that he stays till the end, because you know, general tendency at times is, you know, for the openers is to, after the 25th over, they like to play the big shots. They think their job is over. But I think in these conditions, once you are set, you have to make the most of it.
Indian skipper said that the wicket was too paced and that the wicket was slow, and that is the reason that India won. So do you feel so? Was the wicket slow? So, basically it is too paced wicket, it was said that, you know. In the second, while batting, while they were.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to answer, but I think the bowlers bowled the right length. It was definitely too paced right from the start, but maybe under the lights, because general tendency is under the lights, you know, it quickens up a bit, and we were able to get a bit more swing under the lights. And if there's an increase in pace, it definitely means, you know, if it was too paced in the afternoon, and if the pace increases, the difference will rise, because, you know, if it becomes quicker, then the slow one will still, you know, go slower. So I felt the mix of pace was good from our bowlers, but what was really crucial was the use of the bouncer, and I think the run out in the middle overs, you know, 2 run outs from the fast bowlers, especially from the deep, I think that really changed the game for us.
My batsman's form sometimes goes up and down, and you set plans as for bowlers, and sometimes they're not able to execute well. But this Indian team, especially in the limited overs, knows that fielding is their strength. So how much of that uplifts your morale in the dressing room, especially coming on the back of a, say, poor tri-series into the World Cup? How much of that lifts you, changes your mood?
I think what we know is we can add minimum 10 to 15 runs to whatever we score. So, you know, if you score 280 runs, which is a par score, we know with our fielding we can actually, you know, add another 15 runs. And the kind of fielders that we have got, you know, there may be one fielder or two, you know, who are slightly slower than the others, but by no means they are bad fielders. But other than that, I think we have got fielders, and, you know, apart from that, we have got fast bowlers who are above average fielders. So overall, you know, I've got plenty to play with. You know, I don't always have to think about which player needs to go where. So I have time to think more about the strategies rather than, you know, trying to use 4 or 5 good fielders and seeing, you know, what's really needed, whether I need to stop the singles or I need boundary riders who can stop the 2s and the 3s. So that actually eases the pressure of me. But it's something that you will see in the coming years, you know, with more players, you know, the fresh players coming in, with the infrastructure that's provided to them and the kind of importance that's given to fitness. You will see more often than not the new crop of players, you know, they'll be really good in fitness, which will reflect in the fielding department.
Last 4 in English: Gaurav, Abhishek, and Mahajan, and the 4th one, Neerav.
MS, can you talk about the first 10 overs? Is that one of the best you've seen? I mean, India conceded, I think, 3 or 2 boundaries in the first 10 overs. Is that the best you've bowled in the first 10 overs in the last 6 to 12 months?
I don't remember that much, but in the recent times, definitely it was a fantastic performance. You know, maybe the wicket also helped us a bit, but still, you know, hitting the right areas, the length, according to the wicket, how the wicket is behaving is crucial. And I felt that was the main aspect, you know, where we were really good. You know, they quickly assessed what was the right length to bowl, and they didn't give too much room. You know, when it was swinging, they made sure they bowled tight length, and at the same time, when it stopped swinging, still they were bowling close. You know, they never gave any extra width to the batsmen, and most of their batsmen, if you see, they love that extra width. You know, right from the top order, they have that width and they score quite freely. So it was important that we don't give them that width, and most important thing is, you always have plans, but how we execute the plan. So in the first 10 overs, this was definitely one of our best performance in the recent past.
MS, did it feel like playing at home with so much support from the stands? How much of a factor was the crowd in the game?
Well, I'm glad somebody asked that question, because the attendance was close to 86 or 87,000. Let's give the benefit of doubt, 20,000 to the South African fans. But, to get like over 50,000 people, in Australia, I think it just adds on to, that atmosphere that gets created. It starts from the warm-up, and after the national anthem, it just multiplies. So, it's always good to play in front of good support. And the kind of support we are talking about, even when we are playing in India, there are stadiums, some of the stadiums which don't have that kind of a capacity. So even when they are full, they're close to 40,000. So today we are seeing, in Australia, close to more than 50 to 60,000 people supporting us. Definitely we'll need to give a lot of credit to them. I think it's really heartening to, see, people coming from all over, not only India. A lot of them are from Australia, from England. They have come. So overall, it feels good to play in front of big.
After such a win, there can't be any criticism. But towards the end of our batting, it did appear that we could have scored more. Is it related to the fact that the other day you talked about the length at which the bowlers are bowling is difficult to clear the boundary?
Well, it is a difficult one. It's not only us. Most of the sides, if you see, it's not easy to, especially if you have lost wicket. If you have set batsmen, they know the pace and the bounce and they can score. But if you see till the batsmen were batting, so you can say till I was batting with Jadeja, maybe till that time, we were scoring at a decent pace. So if it's difficult for the batsmen, we can't expect Ashwin and Shami to score at 8, 9 or 10 runs and over, because more often than not, the opposition won't allow us to score that freely. So till the batsmen were batting, I thought we were scoring at a decent pace. I don't know the stats, I may be wrong, but it felt good, and also what was important was Ajinkya's batting, because in the last game we promoted Raina ahead of him. But we had a chat with him. We said, back your strength, use your timing, because that's really your strength. If you look to give too much power, you lose shape and you're not able to score freely. But, you just need to use your timing. And in this game, especially, I thought he batted really well. He backed his natural instinct, his timing to a lot of extent to get the number of runs. So I was very happy with his performance. And slowly, with more games and, seeing the condition, I think we'll start getting more and more runs.
Just taking off from what you mentioned, I just wanted to ask him, he's one of the quietest fellows in the team, and his development over the last 1.5 years, how pleasing has it been for you to see, how he's evolved?
No, there has been improvement, irrespective of the format in T20, ODIs, or as a test player, he has really improved. He's definitely one of the individuals who's not very rigid. He's quite open to ideas. He's quite open to try new things. And, once he tries it out, he gives you a good response as to whether it's working or not working for him. And he's one of the fittest guys. You see him on the field. He's very quick, and his intensity actually never drops. Right from the first over till the 90th over. If you see a test match, which I feel, to me, that's what fitness is all about. It's not about how many beep tests you can do. So it's really nice to see him. He's not someone who owns a position in the sense. He's not somebody who wants to field at covers. Wherever there's opportunity, he's willing to go there, whether it's boundary, covers, leg slip, anywhere. So, it becomes slightly easy. But what has been really good is, him backing his strength, which I feel is timing and, exploiting the field to a lot of extent. So it's really good to see him, get the kind of runs, and how he's getting it is very important.
Yeah, first question in Hindi, Gautam Bhattacharya, number 1.
Yeah, he just says yes. You tell him we're supposed to do this. Yeah, yeah.
MS, it is usually seen that India performs better in ICC tournaments. But despite that, for a team that was struggling to win for the last 2.5 months, how do you explain this tremendous turnaround?
Well, we kept it very simple. Right from the start, we knew it enough for us, to turn it on. The reason being, we'll be here for 4.5 months. So we wanted to test or give players more opportunities in the tri-series. To some extent, there were quite a few players who were injured also. So we kept the intensity a bit low, during the tri-series. Still, we wanted to win. We pushed for the wins, but we are not able to get that. But at the same time, we knew with the World Cup right at the corner, this tournament was much more important to us, and we had to make sure, people with niggles, they don't come into the World Cup. So, any individual who had a bit of niggle, we kept him out of the 11 because we didn't really want to push that particular individual. And also, we had put in a lot of effort and time, in these 15 to 17 players. So this is the right time, they have played ODI cricket for the last couple of years minimum. So, when you're putting in so much effort, you have to make sure that these individuals who are playing for the last couple of years, they turn up for the World Cup, because you're giving them minimum 40 to 50 games. So to some extent, you can say they are the experienced ones. So I feel, we kept it simple, and that really helped. The 10-day break also helped us to a lot of extent. And once we turned back after that 5 to 10-day break, we made sure that we use the practice in the best possible manner. We requested for a few central wicket practice. That was provided to us, and we gained a lot out of it. We had a few long practice sessions, but we made sure that in between, we have complete day offs also. So we have managed all these things well, and I think it's also a lot of credit needs to be given to the individual, support staff and the team, because to have that healthy dressing room atmosphere, despite the kind of losses that we have faced, is something that is very difficult. And not to forget, we get criticized a lot when we are not doing well. So you may ignore it to whatever extent, but it still plays a part.
Last two in Hindi. MS,
Kushan and Lay.
MS, क्या आपको लगता है कि इस दोनों जीत के बाद आपका जो बॉलिंग अटैक है, जैसे बॉलर्स बॉल कर रहे हैं, एज ए यूनिट परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं, आपको क्या लगता है कि आपको एक सेटल्ड अटैक मिल गया है? और क्या अब जो अटैक परफॉर्म कर रहा है, इसके बाद भुवनेश्वर अगर फुली फिट हो जाए या फिर अवेलेबल फॉर सिलेक्शन हो भी, तो उनका चांस बनता है?
वेल, भुवी पहले मैच से ही इज़ अवेलेबल फॉर सिलेक्शन, बट हमें ऐसा लगा कि ये 3 जो बॉलर है, ये हमारे बेस्ट बॉलर हैं, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट वी हैव पिक देम. और 2 मैच में हमने अच्छी बॉलिंग की है, बट हमें और टाइम देना पड़ेगा. और मैं हमेशा एक फ्रेश माइंड के साथ गेम में जाता हूँ. मैं देखता हूँ उस दिन कौन सा बॉलर कैसा डाल रहा है. तो उमेश अगर आप देखें तो थोड़ा अप एंड डाउन रहा है उसका परफॉर्मेंस. कभी नए बॉल से उतना अच्छा नहीं डालता है, कभी पुराने बॉल से नहीं डालता है, बट ओवरऑल उसने अच्छी बॉलिंग की है. मोहित काफ़ी कंसिस्टेंट रहा है सो फार अपनी बॉलिंग से, चाहे वो नए बॉल की बॉलिंग हो या पुराने बॉल की. बाउंसर बहुत अच्छे से यूज़ करता है, अच्छे हाइट पे बाउंसर मारता है, और वो ऐसा फास्ट बॉलर होगा जिसने अभी तक ऑलमोस्ट सबसे ज़्यादा विकेट्स लिए हैं बाउंसर में हमारी टीम से बॉलिंग करते हुए. सो शमी, उसने एक्स्ट्रा प्रेशर लिया है नए बॉल का. नए बॉल में पहले 5 ओवर वो डालता है, उसके बाद जब पावर प्ले आए या स्लॉग आए, तो अभी तो सेटल लग रहा है. बट मैं नहीं चाहता हूँ कि मैं बहुत एक रिजिड फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड में चला जाऊँ कि यही हमारे बेस्ट बॉलर हैं. हमें परफॉर्मेंस देखते रहना होगा, और ये भी देखना होगा कि उतना उनका फिटनेस मेंटेन रहे थ्रू आउट द टूर्नामेंट. काफ़ी ब्रेक्स है इन द मिडिल, सो होपफुली दे विल गेट इनफ टाइम टू रिकवर.
माही, जब एक वर्ल्ड कप जैसी टूर्नामेंट आती है तो लोग बहुत हाई फंडा सोचते हैं, हाई फंडा स्ट्रैटेजी प्लानिंग ये वो. आप एक ऐसे हो कि जैसे लेफ्ट हैंडर आउट हो गया तो लेफ्ट हैंडर को भेज दिया, राइट हैंडर आउट हो गया राइट हैंडर को भेज दिया, 2 लेफ्ट हैंडर बैटिंग कर रहे हैं तो ऑफ स्पिनर को लेके आए, या राइट हैंडर बैटिंग कर जडेजा. या आप इतना सिंपल कैसे रख सकते हो?
नहीं, वर्ल्ड कप के आप क्रिकेट खेलते हो जनरली, और वर्ल्ड कप हो या ट्राई सीरीज़ हो या कोई ऑल बायलैटरल टूर्नामेंट हो, आप सेम ही चीज़ करते हो. इन द वे वर्ल्ड कप में आप कोई ऐसा स्पेशल चीज़ नहीं करते हो. आप चाहते हो कि जो इंडिविजुअल्स होते हैं टीम में वो अपने परफॉर्मेंस को ऊपर लाएं, बट जो बेसिक्स होता है वो बहुत ही सिमिलर होता है. तो हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि उसको जितना ईजीली हम रोल्स और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ इंडिविजुअल को दे दें, उसी के ऊपर हम फोकस करें. क्योंकि जिस तरीके से हम लास्ट 2 साल में क्रिकेट खेले हैं, जो डिफरेंट इंडिविजुअल्स का रोल्स रहा है, वो सेम वर्ल्ड कप में भी रहेगा. तो बहुत ज़्यादा सिर्फ वर्ल्ड कप है बोल के बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें चेंजेस लाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली अगर डेल स्टेन बॉलिंग डाल रहे हैं, तो अगर वो वर्ल्ड कप हो चाहे एक बायलैटरल सीरीज़ हो, हिल स्टिल बोल द सेम. सो आई फील इन द सेम वे हमें भी अपना अप्रोच रखना चाहिए. तो हमारा अप्रोच वही रहा है अभी तक, और आने वाले मैचों में भी हम कोशिश करेंगे कि अप्रोच सेम रहे, हम अच्छे से प्रिपेयर करके जाएं, फिट रहें, हंसमुख रहें और अच्छे से हम अपना प्लान एग्जीक्यूट करें. क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली जो प्लान होता है, जिस तरीके से हम एग्जीक्यूट करते हैं, कितना प्रेशर बना पाते हैं बैटिंग और बॉलिंग में, उसी के कारण हम मैच जीतते हैं.